Welcome into 4 News Now. I'm Rob King. Disney's The Lion King, the beloved classic, Tony Award-winning musical, is returning to Spokane at the end of the month, here for more than 2 weeks. January 28th through February 15th is going to be at First Interstate Center for the Arts. You can find the link to get tickets right now on kxly.com. Joining me now, one of the stars of that musical, Danny Grumich, who plays Pumbaa, one of my favorites from the movie. Danny, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. How's the tour been going so far? How are you adjusting to being a road dog, grinding?
It's been great. It's been great. I've been out about a year and a half now. So I joined the tour September of 24. So, yeah, a little less than a year and a half. Been loving it the whole step of the way. I have my entire family out here. So our 1.5-year-old daughter, Gracie, my wife, Mary, and our dog, Waverly, the whole family's out. So we're just bopping city to city and enjoying the ride.
Well, that's awesome. It's nice to get a break because you got to think that's one of the downsides. If you do have a family and they're at home, you're like, oh my gosh, can't see my family for 8 months. So that's got to keep you going, keep you rejuvenated.
Absolutely. Definitely a game changer for sure.
Right on. Now, we talked about it. You play Pumbaa. I want to pull up a photo here of what that piece looks like. My goodness, that's a two-parter. And there's no one in that little back half, right?
No, just me. Yeah. So the whole thing is about 8 feet long and just around 55 pounds in total. So.
What's the training and learning curve for this beast?
It was a lot of soreness in places I didn't know I could be sore, to be completely honest. A lot of stamina built up. Yeah, it was definitely sort of getting thrown in the deep end in the best way possible. Sort of a shock to the system in a sense, too. I'd never done a show where I'd sort of, maneuvered a puppet before. I've never done a show where I've worn a full body puppet like that before. But I have to brag on the show, and kudos to our entire department. We have an entire puppets department on staff that travels with us full-time on the road, headed by Michael Riley. They're fantastic. They maintain all of the over 200 puppets in the show. They were able to put me in it the first time, adjust all the straps to really make it as comfortable as possible, and really kind of mold all the harnessing to fit me. Gave me a lot of great tips on how to manipulate and how to move, but also sort of, you think of Lion King, this, almost 30-year, blockbuster hit musical. I would think it's you walk here, you say this exactly like this. It's sort of, this is what works, this is the formula for success. But it was actually the opposite when I got out there. It was completely a lot of freedom. Obviously the blocking's the same, the sort of the puppet is the same, but the way I maneuver the eyes and the mouth and sort of creating my own bits with my counterpart, Nick Corleone, who plays Timon. There was a lot of freedom to really kind of bring myself as an actor to Pumbaa and kind of bring him to life in my own way.
Yeah, I guess when you are doing a musical that's, it's one of the most famous musicals of all time. It's been running forever in some shape. How do you kind of bring your own twist to a character that people know and love so much?
Absolutely. It's really a little bit of pressure, but it's sort of a good pressure in that sense. I think it's, I try to at least try to bring in the perfect melding in a sense of, that character, the beloved character that everybody knows and loves, sort of the voice, the fart jokes, everything that we love from the animated feature. But just really try to bring myself to it, try to understand that relationship between, Timon and Pumbaa, between Timon and Pumbaa and then meeting Simba and sort of raising this lion in this, in the jungle for many years and, sort of the adventures that he goes through and, the trials and tribulations in Act 2 and, what sort of that means to that character, to sort of be able to bring myself to that in an honest way is kind of the best challenge in a sense, to sort of stay true to the character everyone's expecting, to be able to really have the freedom to kind of bring myself to it as well.
Now, you mentioned your counterpart who plays Timon. A lot of shows like this, there's a lot of chemistry that
Absolutely.
You get shows with romantic chemistry. Comedic chemistry can be just as hard to get together, if not
100%.
harder. How did you and Nick kind of find that?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't brag on him enough. He's incredible. Nick Corleone's been playing Timon on the North American tour, for a little over 16 years now. So he's a legacy out here. The guy's incredible. And I'll be honest, when I first came out, I thought for sure, he'd say, hey, I know this secret sauce. You go here, you say it this exact way, set me up for this. And
listen, rookie, I got this.
Exactly, right? Yeah. And I was sort of ready to fall in. But, from day one when I met him, the first thing he said is, all right, how do we make this our own? What can we do? And it was really such an environment to really just come at it as equals and to be able to, I felt so empowered to kind of bring some bits that I had. He said, hey, this has worked in the past. We've also done this. What do you guys think? We've built on old things. we've created new things that are completely unique to just what we do on stage. So yeah, there's that chemistry is 100% there, and you're absolutely right. I think it definitely reads on stage, and I can't say enough great things about him. He's a really incredible person, really incredible scene partner, and yeah, just lucky to get to share the stage with him.
Yeah, to have a veteran like that's got to be priceless, especially in
Absolutely.
such a big, big thing where like you got to really bring the energy every night.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
As far as your own comedic timing, you know, Pumbaa is comedic relief in the musical, he is in the movie. How do you find that you kind of shift as far as what you're doing night to night? Is it based off audience? Do you just decide you want to try something? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to tell right after this interview, I'm going to tell my wife I have comedic timing because she always likes to tell me I don't.
You
No, yeah, it really
professionally
does.
do, though. That's got to count for something.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, it really, honestly, yeah, the audience is paramount in the entire thing. In every city, we either have monitors that we can hear the live show feed through in our dressing room, or we have a full TV monitor where we can see the actual show happening. And every night, we sort of get ready. We don't go on to the very end of Act One, so Nick and I are sort of getting ready and stretching, and kind of getting ready to start our day as the curtain's going up, and just being able to hear from go when that curtain goes up. The audience go nuts. They go nuts after the opening number. They're in it the whole way. The laughs all throughout. Hearing that for a good 45 minutes before we even think about stepping on stage just really gets us revved up, really gets us excited, and then getting out there, yeah, just feeling that energy, feeling the audience, the cheers at the end of Hakuna Matata, the laughs in Act Two and Act One, it's just really, there's nothing like it. It's really great every night.
And you got to think, or it might be a detriment, I don't know, I guess you tell me, people having a preconceived notion of this character. Maybe
Right.
that's not your version. Does that help or hurt?
I think I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's, like I said, there's that added pressure to really deliver on that. But it's sort of staying true to myself, and as an actor, I want to bring myself to it, and I want to show what I can, kind of bits that I can come up with, or how I can make that character funny through my eyes. So it's sort of a good pressure to really kind of deliver on that character that everybody is expecting, but also kind of put my own spin on it, and maybe come up with a bit or two here and there, or be able to approach something that people might not expect, but might work, and have them see Pumbaa in a different way by the end.
All right. Well, Danny, anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I think in that same vein, in terms of having a preconceived notion of the show, one thing we always like to say is if you've never seen the musical and you're only familiar with the animated feature, you're going to get that times 10. The musical is, you'll have all your great highlights. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Hakuna Matata, Just Can't Wait to Be King. Circle of Life, obviously, all the great hits. But the rest of the catalog in the musical is all their songs that were created specifically for the musical itself. Nala has a song in Act Two called Shadowland, and about leaving the Pride to go find Simba and bring him back to fight the evil Scar. There's Simba has a song called Endless Night, where he's sort of grappling with, why am I here? I'm longing for home, but am I welcome there anymore? Some really incredible moments like that. There's also so much incredible South African culture and design and language, all interwoven throughout the musical, that really just elevates the story into a whole and completely new way. People get lost in the puppetry and the magic of it. And I always say this show's been around almost 30 years. A lot of the same tech elements, a lot of the same mechanics on these puppets and everything else were the original design. So it just really goes to show you how ahead of its time the show was, and just how much it really holds up. And I think we see that in the audience reactions every night. And it's just incredible to see that after 30 years, generations of people, grandparents now that were parents that grew up with their kids watching the show. The kids are now parents of their own and get to bring their kids to the show, and we get to meet them at the stage door after and kind of hear these stories. And I think that's what makes this show so special, and that's something you get to experience if you come check us out.
All right, Danny Grumich. Couldn't have summed it up better myself. I appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping on with me.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And you can see Danny and the rest of the cast of Disney's The Lion King. It's coming up in about a week and a half now. It starts January 28th, opens then, runs through February 15th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. You can find the link to get tickets on kxly.com. Danny, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Rob.